we have a Heroes Olden Era update related to skills and classes posted a few days ago, so let's check it out together. So this is a devlog about the game mechanics. So if it works, don't break it. Yeah, this is what I want to see, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they have a YouTube video, so let's check that out first.
Hi, Anna here from Heroes Take Turns. Welcome to Unfrozen's next devlog. In the previous devlog, we talked about magic and spells, and we have also mentioned that certain skills will affect them. Today, we will dive deeper into everything that surrounds skills and hero development. Since the beginning of the series, you were able to develop your heroes to grow in strength based on the choices you made every time you leveled up. In order to level up, you can either choose to explore the map and find experience from certain objects, like for instance, a good old learning stone, or simply choose...
Look at this. Look, this is interesting. You would have like 3 choices or something like that. You know, it's, you know, I've only had experience with Heroes 2 and 3, mostly, right? I think I've tried every single game, but not as much as 2 and 3. And you could only have 2 choices in Heroes 2 and 3. So having more is pretty interesting. You know, it's closer to like a roguelike, let's say. That's pretty interesting as well. So look at that. Morale, basic leadership, siegecraft,
fight
advanced
your way
ascension.
through the enemies
right.
that you encounter, as they all give experience based on how challenging they are. It will all depend on your playstyle. The core parts of the skill system have been initially developed in both Heroes 2 and 3, with a few enhancements introduced in Heroes 5. Following their footsteps, Olden Era aims to refine the system by making it both interesting and easy to understand. As such, it will contain features from all 3 of these games.
Man, that's perfect.
Let's dive in.
2, 3, and 5.
Just like in previous games,
Must be
each
decent.
hero class has a certain chance to learn a skill. Might heroes are more likely to learn abilities that focus on empowering their armies, whilst magic heroes get to strengthen their spells and unlock more of them much more easily. As they improve their skills to an advanced and expert level, they will be presented with a choice of a subskill. These subskills will allow for a deeper hero customization than in previous games, and let you, as a player, choose a unique playstyle every time you level up, based on the choices you want to make with each playthrough, as well as providing more variety. In Olden Era, there will be some iconic skills, such as Armor and Offense.
Okay, so offense and defense. I think, yeah, armor, yeah. These are present in Heroes 3, right?
Scouting and Logistics.
Yeah, offense and armor. Scouting, oh man, scouting, of course. Can't...
or Sorcery and Intelligence, making a return.
Interesting.
However, some new ones will show up as well. Among them, Battlecraft.
Okay, when a creature waits in battle, they gain plus 20% attack until the end of the round. When they skip a turn, they gain plus 20 defense until the end of the round. Okay, interesting. So you get more attack by waiting. Interesting.
That gives a bonus if you choose to defend or wait in combat.
Yeah, look at that. You have so many variations. Man, this is pretty interesting, I must say, right? There are so many possibilities, probably. I'm not sure if other heroes have had something
Avatar,
like this, but I'm not sure.
Which lets you summon a powerful unit to aid you in battle. Recruitment, focusing on boosting your creature growth in towns.
Man, that's insane.
Thaumaturgy.
But does that stack? Like if I have multiple heroes that have the same thing, do I get like 1,000 growth or something?
A
Probably
magic
not.
class
Or, I don't
only
know.
skill that lets them cast 2 spells each round.
2 spells each round? Okay. Dude, that's very interesting. Imagine the possibilities. Huh. Because in many games, in many Heroes games, I thought, man, if only I could have cast another spell this turn to make some sort of interesting synergy. But yeah, fortunately it wasn't possible. But here might even be game-breaking, of course. We'll see how it goes,
Or
but
battle magic,
it looks interesting.
which allows your spell power and knowledge to empower your creature stats. In addition, each faction has its own unique faction skill that their heroes start with, like Necromancy in Necropolis or Triumvirate Strength in Dungeon.
Triumvirate Strength. Once per round, the hero can activate one of the 3 stances in battle. They grant bonuses to different primary skills. I haven't seen everything about these factions. I don't necessarily want to spoil it for myself, but I don't want to jinx it necessarily, but this looks kind of good. I am getting more and more hopeful, even though I want to set the expectations at a decent level just to not be disappointed. But as far as I've seen, it must be at least decent, right? Olden Era. At least, in the worst case scenario, maybe a little bit below 5, perhaps, in the worst possible case. The best case, closer to 2 and 3, maybe. We'll see.
And many other skills await you in
good.
Olden Era. It will be up to you as a player to explore them all and build your own powerful heroes. However, do not worry. With Unfrozen's approach, the skill mechanics will be simple and clear to understand, yet providing a lot of variety so that each player can come up with some new, fresh ideas. There will also be hero specializations and subclasses that can improve some of these skills even further, but more details about that in a future devlog. It will be exciting to see how players shape their heroes using the new mix of skills and subskills. Thank you for watching.
All right, so now let's see what extra information we have here. So essentially just based on the combining classic Heroes 3 and the system from 5, okay. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, of course. I must say, the adventure map looks good. I don't know about the battlefield, though, but that's, maybe that's not as important. Of course, polish should still be there, but if I'm thinking about it, if I'm being honest, Heroes 3 is a very good game, but aesthetically, I don't like it. I've never liked it. But, that doesn't really matter as much. Like, I would prefer a game to be very good, but look not the greatest, as opposed to the reverse, right? Being super beautiful, but being kind of trash, right? So anyway, variety is the spice of life. Most important quality of life changes we wanted to bring to Olden Era is skill variety. Interesting. So in previous Heroes games, there were a few very powerful skills that players always preferred over others thanks to their raw efficiency. While it is a good system and worked for many years, it still has room to grow and become more interesting to both veteran and new players alike. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially like in Heroes 2, which is super imbalanced. Some skills were way better than others. It would be interesting if you could make some sort of strategy with every single possible skill. Like, for example, I don't know, using scouting and such and still benefiting immensely from it. That would be an interesting idea, but kind of difficult, kind of ambitious, I would say. So just keep it simple. Let's get like Heroes 3, 2. That would be the best thing, I would say. And then move from there, right? But we need to have a good heroes experience, and then we can see if it can be improved even further. But I don't know, we'll see. So as we want to make it so that each faction feels unique to play in Olden Era, each hero always starts with their faction's iconic skill, which we now have as a unique skill for each present faction, like Necromancers in Heroes 3, or all heroes in Heroes 5, and mostly an additional one. Okay, so these starting skills cannot be changed by any means and are influenced by the hero's specialization, a unique bonus specific to each hero. Okay, so for example, heroes that specialize in a specific school of magic will always start with that school's skill. You can learn a total of 8 different skills, including the starting ones. Alright, so that is interesting. To further enhance the feeling of building a hero that reflects your choices, we adapted the core of Heroes 5's perks system into the form of subskills. Now, I don't remember this. I think I've played it like Heroes 5 for maybe like 3 hours in my entire life, so I'm not sure about that, but still. Each skill has 5 subskills. Okay, so I see. So it's that exact system to get that variety or so. When upgrading a skill to an advanced level, you get to choose one of the 3 first subskills, and when upgrading to an expert level, you get to choose one of the 2 last subskills. For example, when you level up and pick advanced logistics, you will be given a choice between 3 subskills, and when you level that to expert, you have a choice between the last 2, alright? Each subskill offers a significant bonus and can alter the effectiveness and role of your hero based on your strategy. Additionally, many of them have become enhanced if you have a specific other skill, encouraging soft synergies during your hero's development. All these additions serve as a means to offer flexibility, skill variety, and a little bit of individuality for the player while letting them make different decisions every game during hero development. That's pretty good. Like, it's massive replayability, you would say. You know, it's as I've said, you know, I've never made this connection before, but Heroes is kind of like close to no, it has roguelike mechanics, I would say, right? But at the time when I first discovered these games, I didn't know roguelike was a thing. But yeah, or rogue itself. Various subskills will provide even more options and synergies now than what you might be accustomed to, making room for many build paths instead of just a meta one. Well, that's nice in theory, but I still do believe that as much as the developers want to ensure that everything would be viable, eventually, whenever a ton of players will experience the game, some things will be found out as way better than others. So there will be a meta. There's always going to be a meta. There's almost no way, especially whenever you make a game that's super complex and that has many possibilities, there's almost no way to predict whatever some genius dude in his basement comes up with and destroys the whole game, right? We want players to feel that their choices matter and they're not forced into making the same decisions every single match. Okay, that's fair. Of course, we expect you to come up with various builds, for such is the nature of the game, of course. Right, so let's see these. Look at this, advanced logistics. So we have the terrain penalty reduces by 50%. Oh, so you have like a pathfinding as well. Oh, that's interesting. Also, neutral global map spells cost 4 mana. This bonus is doubled if the hero knows scouting. Yeah, you see, yeah. That's interesting because it synergizes with other specific spells, but also you would need to play the game for quite a long time to know exactly what exists, and then you can devise a strategy to try to synergize everything, but it's still kind of luck dependent, I would say, right? If you don't get the proper skill, what are you going to do? But still, every day the hero saves up to 50 unused movement points for the next day. Well, whatever the system would be, whatever the amount of normal movement points would be, like 250 for this guy, level 3. Interesting. Okay, with the basic logistics, by the way. So this bonus is doubled for the hero who knows arcane magic. Interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of exploration for sure. And the expert ones, the hero restores 5% movement after each victory in battle. Imagine, yeah, you stack up battles and you keep moving. That's interesting as well. And 5%, imagine if 5% is the minimum required to cast a portal or a dimension door, if that exists, right? So you can just teleport, fight somebody, then teleport, fight somebody, and so on and so forth. That would be cool, but still. And the final one grants a new global map spell. It teleports the hero to the nearest town they control. All remaining movement points are lost. Yeah, very interesting. Still, okay. All right, it looks promising, I must say. New mechanics to explore. Additionally, we've taken a look at Heroes 7. Oh, okay, an interesting choice, and its subclass system, and found it to be pretty interesting as one of the more defining features the game had to offer. Man, I've played like Hero 7. I've played it only for a few days against some of my former colleagues when I was at Ubisoft, and we kind of abandoned the game because it just wasn't like 2 or 3. That's the biggest issue. But we never gave it a proper chance. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's not that bad, but it's definitely not as good as the previous ones. But I'm sure there must be some game mechanics and that installment of the game that represent a good idea, let's say, right? So we saw potential in it and how much additional room it offers when it comes to building a hero. Okay, by making the system optional in the Olden Era, we left the decision of investing into acquiring a subclass entirely in the player's hands. The subclass system allows players to unlock further enhancements to their hero as they progress in levels and power. Each hero class has access to 2 subclasses that require specific skills and subskills to be unlocked. Okay, as you level up your hero, the game will notify you if a skill or subskill you decide to choose contributes to unlocking a subclass you're interested in. So that's like a mini quest in a sense, it seems, right? Look at this. Basic intelligence plus 20% maximum mana. Okay, It's pretty interesting, I must say. All the skills you can learn. I guess we can take a quick look at this. Ascension. Each time a friendly stack dies, all remaining friendly creatures' HP increases by whatever percentage or absolute value until the end of the next round. Interesting. So 10%, 20%, 30%. All right. Necromancy. Summons Swarm. Lays a clutch of eggs on the battlefield. At the start of the next round, it spawns fire larvae. Interesting. Murmuring. Okay, so restores focus charges at the start of the battle. Whatever those are. Of course, Triumvirate Strength. Once per round, the hero can activate one of the 3 stances in battle. 3 stances? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that system. And some undisclosed one as well. Plus, offense, which we know, armor, in a sense, sorcery, more spell damage, all right, resistance, intelligence, diplomacy, pretty nice, insight, more XP, all right, and I would assume there's no cap, right? Scouting, sight rate, I don't know about scouting, man, is that so significant? I guess maybe they made it work a little bit better. Logistics, pretty good. Leadership, of course. Economy. So this is basically like estates, right? Siegecraft. Okay, so ballistics, tactics. I've seen that, and luck. So a lot of the ones that we are pretty familiar with, but also daylight magic, nightshade magic, arcane and primal magic, battle magic. Okay, these are battle magic is pretty interesting because friendly creatures' attack and defense increase by whatever percentage of their hero's spell power and knowledge. So you can, you can kind of become like a sort of a hybrid hero, maybe. Or it could be viable to just try to switch into attacking and defending more, as opposed to just relying on spells with some guys, I guess. But it's only theoretical at this point. We need to play the game and see at that point. Recruitment is pretty strong. This seems similar to one of those artifacts, right? Legion artifacts or something from Heroes 3, probably. What even is this, man? Thaumaturgy. I don't know, man. I've never heard of that, but allows the hero to use the spell book one more time per battle round. Dude, that is insane. That is insane. But it costs more mana, I guess. But imagine the possibilities, of course. Holy. And when do you actually use it? Like, do you need to wait a little bit? That is very interesting, of course. Like, okay, there are many possibilities here, but we'll see we'll see them when we can actually play the game. And then Battlecraft. When a creature waits in battle, yeah, I've seen that before. And Summon Avatar, well, we've seen that in the video as well. So that was the update. Man, as I've said, it looks kind of good. But I hope it's not, I hope it's going to live up to the expectation, even though I'm setting them relatively low, just to not be disappointed. But I guess we'll see. But I would say that in the worst case scenario, it's still going to be close to maybe at least Heroes 5. But ideally, super close to Heroes 3, right? Exactly, Heroes 3, 2. That's all we need, right? Of course. And yeah, okay, guys, that was it for today's video. If you're interested in Heroes 2 and 3, I have a bunch of videos on the channel. We have a skeleton-only campaign that I've started, a ranged-only campaign. These are for Heroes 2, and when it comes to Heroes 3, I'm just kind of discovering it now because I never gave it a proper chance in the past. I've played it for a couple of hours here and there when I was younger, but I kept coming back to Heroes 2. But now I'm trying it, and I must say it's better. I must admit, it's better than 2. But let's see if Olden Era can actually beat Heroes 3. I'm skeptical, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you next time.